The playwright is the first person to take a stab at the character, and whether or not they're successful is whether or not the character helps the playwright tell the story that they're intending to tell. So, how does it fit into the plot of the play? The character, as written by the playwright, is only an outline. There is never a fully fleshed out human being in a script. It is the actor's job to add all the detail and make all the choices to that character, hopefully keeping in mind what the playwright wrote, and make that a true character, a true, believable human being to the audience. Alright, now a little bit about how an actor goes about doing what they actually do. So this means I'm going to be talking about the Stanislavski system. Konstantin Stanislavski was a Russian actor, director, playwright, and teacher who was one of the first people to try and develop a system of training and an approach to honest acting. Before him, there was almost no actor training, and what existed was chiefly limited to physical and vocal training. He delved into how the intellect was involved and how to train it. Almost all American actor training is based on his system. The most famous of them is what is referred to as method acting, and most people have heard that term. I could talk about Stanislavski's influence on theater for hours, but since none of you want to hear that, I'll try to limit myself to a short, clear overview of his main thoughts. There are given circumstances. These are the facts that the actor must accept and work with. Things like age, sex, health, social or class status, educational level, etc. Also concrete relationships to others in the cast. For example, if the other characters are your parents or your siblings or your best friend or your spouse, etc. Please note that this is just who the person is to the actor, not how they feel about them. Who they are is a set of given circumstances. How an actor chooses to feel about another character on stage is a choice. Most of this information, so most of the given circumstances, are contained in the script, and they might have to be mined out of the character's dialogue or other characters' dialogue or the stage directions. However, sometimes some of it must be made up. For instance, if you were to play Hamlet, you have to decide how old he is. Shakespeare doesn't say anywhere in the play. You have to decide whether he's a healthy individual or not a healthy individual. Again, it's not clear in the play. And you have to decide whether he's smart, well-educated, or not. We know he was at university, but that's all we know. Whether he was a good student or a bad student, we just don't know. Then one of the other main Stanislavski thoughts is motivation. Now the idea is a simple one. People's actions are done for a reason. So everyone has a reason for what they do. Oftentimes in life, these reasons seem insignificant because whatever the person is doing is not very important. But plays normally take place on the day or days something special happens to the characters. On these days, the reason you are doing what you are doing becomes very significant. It sounds like a Sting song, but every breath you take, every move you make, every step you take is motivated. Every action is the result of a choice. So what are these choices? Your choices are a response to your objective. So motivation and objective are closely linked. Your motivation, the reason you choose to do what you do, is because of what you want, your objective. Wanting something motivates you to try and get it. Then there's also the super objective. This is the one thing that the character wants above all else. It is what they are fighting for. It is always expressed in an active way. So in Star Wars, I love Star Wars, so bear with me. In Star Wars, Luke might be fighting to save the galaxy. He might be fighting to avenge his murdered aunt and uncle. He might be fighting to win the love of Princess Leia. Any of these and many more could be Luke's super objective, and if you listen, they're all expressed in an active way. To save, to avenge, to win. So, every line in the play has a mini objective. You are trying to get the help of the other characters, or at least get them not to hinder you in achieving your objective for the scene. And achieving your objective for the scene brings you one step closer to achieving your super objective. This connected path from each line, each movement, each breath, helping you towards your scene objectives, which in turn helps you towards your super objective, is oftentimes referred to as your through line, or the spine of the character. If this through line isn't whole or doesn't make sense, the character as portrayed by the actor isn't whole and doesn't make sense. Again, hopefully I just helped make something clearer. I didn't confuse the matter more. Acting, and this is what I say in my acting classes all the time, is very easy in theory and very complicated in practice.